So here's why your arms are not actually growing. My name is Muhammad and I've been training for almost 4 years now consistently, and I've made so many mistakes, and I'm here sharing with you what actually works. But first of all, I've been getting the comment that I don't have the physique to come make videos about fitness and all, and for that, it's time to flex. Excuse me, brother. First of all, it's a arms video, so it's logical to flex the arms, right? So, time to flex. Anyways, let's get into the video. So, bro, if your arms are not growing, there's two things that you're probably making mistakes in. Okay, like there's two mistakes that you're making. Number one is not actually bulking, and number two is not training properly. In this video, I will go like deep into both of them. So let's begin with the bulking mistake. Bro, if you want to grow out your arms, like you want to actually grow them, you gotta be bulking. Like there's no way around it. Okay, you might say actually I'm main gaining, bro. The way is bulking. Okay, but I'm gonna share with you how you can actually bulk properly without getting fat because nobody wants to get fat, right? So now, how do you bulk to build muscle? Basically, I'll keep it like very short. You wanna gain the weight slowly, and you might ask, how slow? 1 to 2 kilograms for the whole month. Why do we do that? Because we wanna maximize muscle growth while minimizing fat gain. Okay, 1 to 2 kilograms a month, 2 to 4 pounds a month. Anything more than that will just be extra fat. Less than that will be too slow, right? And now, obviously, gonna keep it protein high and train consistently. You must be doing this if you want to actually grow out your arms and all. Like, this is pretty important. Obviously, you're gonna be bulking if you're not fat. If your body fat is high, you shouldn't be bulking, okay? But if your body fat is not high, it's actually low, obviously, like, what are you doing? Go on a bulk, right? But if your body fat is high, you gotta cut first, okay? And now let's talk about the second mistake, which is the training. And bro, of course, you can bulk and all, but if your training is messed up, they're not really gonna grow, are they? So I'll give you, like, the top three main things that you gotta focus on when it comes to the training, which number one is the intensity. Intensity is basically how hard you go in each set. And it's pretty simple. I'll give you the formula without like the overthinking and all of that, like how people like to overcomplicate everything. Basically, you want to go to failure on every single set. I know I've heard people telling you you should keep 1 to 2 reps in reserve to, like, for the best gains. Just go to failure on every single set. I'll keep it real with you. Go to failure on every single set. And now for the intensity, I said that you should go to failure on every single set, but here's the catch. You should never ever, like, break your form to get an extra rep. You should never do that. Okay? Like, your form must stay proper on every single set too. Okay, and you might ask, then how do I reach failure? Let's say you're doing bicep curls. Okay. And now you're reaching the last reps. And then now you're at the last rep. You could start, shrugging your arms and, like, trying to get an extra rep. Don't do that. And even for, like, all exercises, like, let's say you're doing chest press or whatever, right? Don't break your form try to get an extra rep, because that's where your injuries happen, or you might, hurt yourself, right? So how do you reach failure? You keep your form proper and everything. Let's say you're doing bicep curls. When you just can't do another rep, the set has ended, right? Like, that's it. Okay? So you go to failure on every single set while keeping your form proper. And now the second thing when it comes to the training is the volume. And now this is pretty important because it's basically like the amount of sets that you do. And you might say, what does it matter? It's pretty important because intensity is here, and on the same level, there is the volume. You gotta be doing enough volume for the muscle to grow, right? If you're new, it's not like such a big deal because, like, anything will build you muscle, right? Especially if you're new. But as you get more advanced, it becomes more and more important. So now, for the volume, what does it all mean? What does it all mean? Okay, it basically means the amount of sets that you do. Okay, the total sets. And on this video, we're talking about arms, but this should be applied to all of your muscles. Okay, for the volume, like the amount of sets for each muscle, don't go too high and don't go too low. Keep it in the middle. Do enough sets. I know you've probably heard about the low volume training style, where you just do low volume to save your time and all of that. But honestly, I fell for that trap and I barely made any progress during that time. So, bro, keep your volume in the middle, nothing too much, nothing too low, right? And lastly, progressive overload, which is pretty simple. Basically, you stick to a rep range on all of your exercises, okay? 8 to 12, whatever. And then you start with a weight that you can do between 8 to 12 reps. If you can do 8 reps with that weight, it's perfect, you can start there. But if you can do 12 reps or more, okay, that weight is kind of light for you. Go for a heavier weight. So we start with a weight that's like, for example, like 20 kilograms barbell curls. Okay? You start with that. You can do about 9 reps. Every session, I want you to push harder than last time so you can hit an extra rep. So now you can do 9. Next session, 10. The one after it, 11. The one after it, 12. When you hit 12 reps, like at the end of your rep range, you can finally increase the weight. And this whole process is going to take like a couple of sessions or a couple of weeks, whatever. But this is how you progressively overload. You start with a weight that you can do like 8 reps with, and you keep pushing every session until you hit the end of your rep range. When you hit the end of the rep range with that weight, you can finally increase the weight. And that's how you train properly. You do that plus bulking properly and all. And that's how you actually grow your arms and just grow muscles, basically. Right? And lastly, if you want more help from me, I got a full-on private community with a full-on course, weekly calls with me, and more. It's going to be the first link in the description. Check it out and join. And I'll see you in the next one.